looks like we have a good amount of people now, so I'm going to get started. And if someone else joins, I'll do a quick overview, but that should be good. Um, so let's start. So today, as I mentioned last week, is going to be our kind of quote unquote test day. And I put that in quotes because, as I mentioned to you guys at the start of class, this is going to be really like a high intensive test kind of thing. I don't really think that I don't really think that's the purpose of this class. I think it's more of a learning aspect, and if you can learn the roots and if you take time to every week to learn them, then I feel like that should be fine. And because I know people just sometimes testing isn't the best way of learning and just a way to assess and do it. So this is kind of the because we're halfway through all the classes. This is class 4. I just want to make sure you guys have been looking at those words, looking at those roots and studying. And so the thing about this test is that uh, it's not really going to be graded. It's going to be graded by you, or it's going to be graded by, maybe your parents if you want to grade it. But there's nothing I'm going to really do to like collect the papers and then give them out with a grade. And I think that way, you can be more honest to yourself about learning and what you have to do. Also, I think it just, the test is a little bit more personalized, and it'd be a lot of work to get maybe 80 kids to go one by one and get through all the month. And so that'd be a lot of work for me, and it'll also be, I think it works perfectly fine for you guys as well to do the test yourself. But for the first part, I'll share my screen just showing you the test and how I want it to really go through. So let me see. Should be the right one. Yeah. All right. So, so as you guys know, this is on. Whoa, let me stop share really quickly. Cool. So that should be good now. So yeah, as you guys know, or as you guys probably noticed, this is on Google Docs, and you guys can't physically edit the Google Doc, or you guys can't physically, circle the definition or like highlight it or anything. And so what my hope is that you either, if you're on a computer or on something, you can hopefully make a new copy by going into File here and make a new copy. And from there, you might be able to record your answers. Or a really good way is to, grab a scrap piece of paper, just regular printer paper would work fine, right? And just go one and kind of like circle your answer or write down your answer. And so I have lines here, but you can also just number them kind of like A is that, B is that, C is that, and D is this. And so that way you can really track your answers and you can just make sure you can record them. If you do make a copy of your answers online, when I say circle, you can just, do this or do this, right? Grab this answer and highlight it, right? And just put it there. And that would work perfectly well because you just, emphasize it and make sure you know the answer. So that being said, let me quickly unhighlight this. Give it a second. I think I'm a little bit lagging on my computer. But yeah, so that being said, this first portion of the test is all kind of like multiple choice questions, and it's all like figuring out which one is the right answer based on the root. And so even if you know the word, but I try to make these words less knowable or words that you wouldn't automatically know. Even if you know the word, try to identify the root. And from identifying the root, then try to find the best answer for that. And so, especially on these tests or on this test, if you get something wrong, don't sweat it. I'd say roots are a really good way to get a basic understanding. It's a good way to help you narrow down the answers, but it's not going to always give you the most precise answer. It's not always going to give you 100% of the time the right answer per se. And so if you guys get a wrong answer, don't sweat it too much. It's just one, it's one wrong question. and just learn from it. Figure out what the root actually means and figure out what the actual definition of the word is, and from there, just keep on going. This next section of the test is I want you guys to find the root of these words and underline them or highlight them. Or if you're working on paper, just kind of write them out. So 19 and blah, 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 whatever the root is. And then you can go online or if you know the word, right, find the definition or find what it is, and then explain how the roots and the words are connected. Kind of like how I do when I teach vocab every single day. Kind of when we do like the first word, right, I mention what the root is, right, or what the root means. And then after that, I mention how it's kind of like connected to the word. And so this is kind of like more of an exercise. And so this is the one part during the test that if you need to, go forward and look online to find the definition. But yeah, these words are relatively more simple and should be words that you guys know. And so the hope is for you guys not to do it. And then for this one, I want you guys to come up with 2 words that use these roots. 2 or 1, the goal is 2, but if you only get 1, that's better than 0. And so I really guys want you to really think about words you might know, and words that would hold this meaning. And during this portion of the test, I don't want you guys to use online or go online to do anything, research or anything. But if you have a book lying around, any like books that you read recently, and you can look through those for words or inspirations. But I don't want you guys going online and searching like roots, words that contain this word or this letter. Yeah, so that's pretty much the basic outline of the test. I'm going to give you guys a good amount of time, so maybe 35 minutes. So we'll probably end, in 30 minutes or so. And when you're done, just type done in the chat, and I'll be able to see them and I'll be able to collect them. So Sophie said, we can review the roots first. Hopefully at this point in time, you've had time to really study the roots, or you've had time like you've had a week for every set of roots that I've given you. But if you do need maybe like 5 to 10 minutes, then if you do need that like amount of time, then go for it and take your time, because I don't want you just to be blindly guessing. We'll check our answers at the end of class. I'll go through them really quickly. Submitting wise, I'm seeing some questions about submitting. There's no need to really submit them. You can just keep them in your hand, and when I go over the rates, just self-grade them yourself, because submitting, everyone would get different answers for the next 2 questions. And so I think for that part, it's more just you thinking yourself and making it, does this actually seem right? So you be honest with yourself. So no need to really turn it in or email me documents, but if you do really want to, or you're confused about this, or you just want a second check or something, go for it, and I'll try to take a look at it. So without further ado, go ahead and open the document in Google Classroom. I'll be checking my email in case you guys need to, remote, or if you guys are on not a Google account and it doesn't work for you guys, I can let you guys in. And with that, I'll end screen sharing. If you have any other questions related to the test, put them in chat and get started with the test. You have 30 minutes to complete it, or 35, depending on if people really need that much time, but it should be good. So go for it. Also, I just want to mention really quickly, although you guys might have the slides with you, or though you might have your roots with you, while you're taking this test, I don't want you guys looking at them. And this is just more, hold it to your own honor, hold it to yourself, not to cheat. And if you need time, a little bit of time to study, go for it. Maybe take 5 minutes to study, or just go run through the words. But when you're done, take the cards out of your room. They'll close the Tide slab, and that should be it. As I guys said, if you can't, you're not supposed to type into the Google Doc. I showed you guys you can either make a copy of the Google Doc and edit it on your own copy, or you can write your answers down on a blank piece of paper and do something like that. Yeah, so totally. Write down your answers down on a piece of paper. And for the multiple choice questions, you can do A, B, C, D. And then for the other parts, yeah, that should be pretty self-explanatory, or make a new copy. If you want to print it out, go for it. Yeah, printing it out would also work. All right, guys, that should be enough time. I'm seeing some things about chat on Google Docs about not being the most respectful and not being, the most courteous. So I'm just gonna say right now, for anyone who's using chat on Google Docs for, any other purposes than asking questions or asking questions about like how to access the document or stuff that's just not related, I'm just gonna ask you guys to stop. And it just not, it's not very kind, or it's not very like respectful to anyone at all. And I think especially if you're going after other people, it's just not, that's not acceptable. Um, and so if you guys do have valid questions, of course, put them in chat, or I'd also recommend, or I'd prefer you guys to go to Zoom chat, but I can understand why sometimes you might want to use Google Docs, but yeah. Um, so without further ado, let's go over the answers. Hopefully that wasn't, too hard for some people. I'm getting a range of, some people finishing early, some people who still need time, but that should be enough time. And I understand, as the test goes on, it's going to get progressively harder, and that's just kind of the, purpose, or that's kind of like just the layout of the test. And so section 3 of the test is definitely a hard part. Like I can understand that. And so if you guys are stuck there, no worries. You know, if you still need time, go for it and take it. But I'm gonna start going through the answers just so we have enough time. And so starting here. So detention, um, the root is 10, meaning hold. And so out of these, A would be the best answer. Inequitable, so equi, that means equal. And so in here, right, it may not seem, there's like a total answer that means equal, but unfair would be the best answer, as that means unequal. Being unfair would be not having equal opportunities for everyone, not being, equal to everyone else. Complicit. So the root here is com, and so involved with would be the best answer here. So com means with, and so involved with also like it suggests the coming together, or it kind of suggests multiple people, right? That root of with. Also, I just want to mention, right, for those of you who don't know the actual words or don't know the roots, or who might, not have studied as long or aren't familiar, totally okay to get answers wrong. That's not something that you should hold against yourself. It's not something that, you should feel unsatisfied with. It's I can totally get why that happens. And so I just want to emphasize, getting answers wrong, although it may not feel the best, there's no problem with it. Don't worry about it too much. 10 is hold, and so again, the firm hold on something, that would be the best answer. Antipathy, so anti would be the root here, or the stem here, and so anti means against, and so it probably the word is going to be, their answer is going to be dislike. And so I can understand why you get worthless or anxious, because it's all against, like they're all negatives. But dislike is especially the best word because it's against other people. Um, and so yeah, there's definitely, I can definitely understand why you could argue that maybe worthless is the best one because it's against maybe like having a purpose or something. But as long as you get in the ballpark area, as long as you can get like a semi answer, you can argue why you might be right based on the root. That's really the hope. And it just that different words have different meanings, and that's actually the way. Like I mentioned earlier, getting a wrong answer, or especially with roots, it's not using roots isn't a method to always give you 100% accuracy. It just to really help you narrow down your choices, and it's really to help you, get a fuller or a more like kind of broad understanding. Um, so yeah, Incredible, cred is to believe, and so incredible would also be amazing. Like you could not believe that someone did that. Uh, intercept, it'd be sept, hold something from attaining someone, from obtaining something, or stop them from doing it. So kind of like, yeah. Chronic, so chron means time, so it'd be reoccurring. Benevolent, so Benny means good, so benevolent would also mean kind. And here, excited, that would be, I would understand why you choose that, but it's not the best answer, especially just knowing the word benevolent. Again, don't worry if you get the answer wrong, it's going to happen. Lexicon, lex is related to saying or, speech, and so language would be the best choice here. Amicable, so am is love, so the answer closest here would be friendly. Con would be together again, so call together. A. Obstruct, so is to mean against, so obstruct would have to be related to against. The best word here would be block, so blocking someone from getting something. Verdict, dict again, that means like saying or talking, and so verdict would probably be a final decision, or a response. I didn't realize that, but both of these would probably work as answers, and I would understand both. Yeah, so I'm going to take both answers. I feel like both answers are acceptable. I didn't realize I put that response in, so. So yeah, response and final decision both work. Precedes. So pre is the one here, and that means before, so come before. Captivate. Oh, sorry, I missed 9 and 18, but we'll get to those. Captivate would be to hold the interest of. So cap is to mean hold. So cap means hold. So hold the interest of, or like kind of draw attention, or like you're so focused on it. Vivid. So vib means life. So vivid would mean full of life. So of like a person, he's a very vivid person. He's a very like lively person. Credence. So cred means believe. So again, credence would mean acceptance. Cool. So that should be all the answers. Later on at the end of class, I'll post like the answer key with highlighted words and everything. But as for now, this should work. And so don't worry if you didn't catch some of those. I'll post the answer key up on Google Classroom. So for these parts, for this next two parts, it's a lot of opinion based, and it's a lot of sometimes people might get different answers. But yeah, so here I'll just go over the roots. So here for 19 be hydra. Put that in orange. Let me highlight it. Orange. Actually, for those of you taking tests, I'll just leave it. For antonym, it's ant. Actually, I'll start with hydra. So hydra is to mean water. So hydrant, a hydrant is a water hydrant. With the red or yellow things that come out of the building that just store water, or firefighters use. So it's based around water. Antonym. So ant is the here again. Ant means against. So antonym is a word or a word that means the opposite of another word. So for instance, happy and sad, those are antonyms. And so the connection there would be their words against other words. Lecture, so lec would be the word here. That means speaking or talking. And so lecture would be when you're talking. Sorry, today we're not going to get a break just because we took a test and we have to get through these answers. But hopefully if you did finish early, you would had some time to stretch out. Or right now you can, step out of your desk, and as you're listening to the answers, stretch out a little bit, get some water. Also, I will be posting this on Google Classroom. So habitat, I'm pretty sure habit, I meant that mean to hold. And so habitat is to hold other people or other animals. That might have been a stretch, but you can put it together sometimes. Predict, this is a nice one. It's two roots actually together. So pre is one and dict is another. So pre is before and dict is talking. And so that's to make a prediction. So yeah, it's pretty self-explanatory. Temp, temporary, temp. And so a temporary would be meaning to do with time, because temp means time. So it's like a short notice. Anticipate, anti. Ooh, I messed this one up actually. So anti actually means before in this case. So yeah, I'll just write here. I messed up when I went looking for words or when I put words down. And so it happens to me too, no worries. But if you do know this one, anti actually means before. So anticipate means to like predict almost like, so before something happens, you think about it. And so if you guys get this wrong, don't count it. Yeah, it messes up. Full points for everyone. So perimeter. Peri means around. So perimeter is the kind of length around everything. Confident. So fid right here, that's the actual root right there. And so fid also means to believe. And so being confident means that you believe in your own abilities. Legible. So ledge again. Ledge is to like talk, or it's related to words. So legible is how clear your handwriting is, if it's readable, pretty much. And so perspient. Where did I put that one in? Give me a second, sorry. Personally, I forgot why I put perspient in. I messed this up again. Sorry about that. Full points. Cool. And then for here, I can't personally grade everyone's here, but the goal for here is to, when you get these words, find the definition of tain. Find the definition of these. So tain would be hold. Actually, for people taking this, but tain is hold, am is love, fill is love, you is good, equi is equal, dict is language slash talk slash like words, hydra is water, bio is life, vit is life, and circum is around. And so if your word that you put down is related to those, or you can find a connection, and it makes sense, then go for it and mark yourself 4 points. And so with that, congrats guys, you did your test. And so I'm gonna give you props for that. And so yeah, with that, that's gonna be in the class. We're gonna end a little bit early just because the test was supposed to be the only time. And so if you guys find the test challenging, I can understand that, and it definitely makes sense. Why I can see why you'd find it challenging. It was meant to be a little bit more challenging, but it's to see, even though you might not know the perfect root or the perfect definition, it's to give you kind of a ballpark answer. And so if you got, if you only got as far as I know this word is positive and this word is negative, that's good enough for me. As long as the whole point of a root is to kind of narrow and kind of get a broader definition. Yeah, so I can post this on Google Classroom. I can post all the answers on Google Classroom later. So with that, you guys are all dismissed and you guys can go. If you have any questions, just type them in chat. Thank you guys. And next class, we will be doing reading again. We'll be going back. Yeah, everyone can leave. I'll stick around for maybe a minute or so. If anyone has any questions, just type them in chat. If not, then we'll be good. All right, thank you, everyone. I'm just gonna leave the meeting now. Yeah, you guys can leave. I feel like I said that, but yeah, if you guys are done, or you don't have questions, then go ahead and leave. I'm gonna go ahead and leave the meeting as well. So, if you have any existing questions, just email me. Yeah, see you guys.